Alright, hope everybody's doing well. Just came back from the mail. It takes a while because the substitute driver or whatever, they just sit at every box for seemingly forever, a couple minutes or whatever. Maybe they just have a hard time sorting the mail. I have really no idea, but it got here nice and early before 11 o'clock. So that's amazing. I got one item I knew exactly what it was. It was my custom-made envelope. I accidentally forgot to put my address on there, so they had to write it on there. That was kind of silly of my part there. I custom-made this envelope here because a lot of these envelopes are super huge. Ended up with a wrong size one year, and I just, oh shoot, what do you do? So I had to trim them and fold them. It's a pain, but I might as well just use up what I have instead of purchasing more, because I hate to throw away the other envelopes just because they're just a little bit too big. I have used them in occasion for the larger sized items, but anyway. And last night we had this crazy discussion live stream with a bunch of other YouTubers talking about old vintage cards and tobacco cards. It was kind of interesting, and dealing with super collectors and people that just didn't know a lot right at the bat. And the biggest take from it was like, when you see an old card, don't go crazy over it, because that might not be the only one. There might be multiples. And finding that out very, very quickly, I just had this page open here. One of just many pages. Here's all these crazy 1930s cards here. $2.50 a piece. You just got to do your homework and research and figure out who these people are. Nobody wants any of these cards. Nobody. Unless you have a movie that's associated with that. These are just really, really cool here. I mean, you won't get a great semblance of what they are. A lot of these people were just kind of like models and silent era actors that, they're just people that just appeared in something for a minute or two. They did other things. This was before commercials, but they might have been famous in radio commercials. You just have absolutely no idea what they did back then, So if you see anybody that's super famous for a couple bucks, there was Ralph Lynn. I thought that was somebody else here. Let's see if I can find somebody here that you might know of. Gordon Harker. Again, look up all these people. A lot of them are British celebrities because that's where they came from. Ralph Lynn and Tom Walls. These are always very cool. The oval tobacco cards here. I have a couple of oval cards here. They're not very valuable. $2.50 actually might be a little bit on the high side for that. So you always have to be careful because the shipping can mound up. This particular seller is doing something like buy 10 cards and get 5 free or something like that, because there's such a markup on these, even as tiny as prices they are. But there's some really pretty neat ones here. Carreras Film Stars. Again, if you need that particular card, but I always caution people buying vintage non-sports tobacco sets, because I've seen sets as low as $10, $8, $9, $10 for a complete 25 to 50 card set. And just amortize those cards, divide them by 10, and you're looking at 25 cents to 50 cents a card, and then you're paying $2.50 for one of them. Now, obviously, the actors are going to be worth a little bit more than some of the garden flowers and helpful hints or whatever they are here. Just click another page here, and then I will get to you what I found in the mail today. It was really great, absolutely great. Marilyn Miller, I've heard that name before, but I'm not sure what she did. Maybe it's a different one here. But again, here's Ramon Navarro in some sort of, he's famous. He was a silent actor here. 1930s Josetti film, their German tobacco car. The Germans made all kinds, just jillions of all kinds of sets. I mean, the series go on forever and ever and ever. You may never finish those sets. It just, so a lot of these people are just, Magda Schneider, she was probably very, very popular in Germany, but outside of Germany, who cares? And some of these people are like the celebrities of today, like the TikTok or whoever, or YouTube celebrities, people on TV. Those people are popular for a couple years, 2, 3, 4, 5 years, and then all of a sudden we forgot who they were. They could have been on Big Brother, and then they might have had a card back then of them, and that's their only card, or 2 cards. I have some of these Cinema Star cards, Lloyd Cinema Stars. I got, was it Warner Baxter? I'm not sure. Some guy with a really nice fedora on. I figured that was a really cool looking card there. I like the design of this set here. Some of the backs are really interesting, but some of them are not. Let's see if we can show you the back here. So this is a very, very boring back here, but $2.69 for Alyssa Landy. That might be up your alley there, so that's really cool. Now let's get into what came in the mail today. I can go on further about that at some other point. I have a binder I've shown many, many times. So one of the things is I got in historic images, and we'll show that very quickly here. And there's a bunch of stuff that came in from that. Well, I say a bunch. I think I want to say 4 photographs. They had a buy one get one free promotion through their website a week or so ago. So I said, you know what, I'm going to buy some pictures here. The first one here actually says Wonderworks on it, and it's got a bunch of production markings from wherever it used. It says CH24, so probably Channel 24. That's probably when they had UHF back then. But this is British schoolboy Kay Harker. Devon Stanfield holds a magical box that takes him to Fantasyland in the 3-part Wonderworks Holiday Special, The Box of Delights, airing on PBS December 10th, 7th, and 24th at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. Check local listings. And it's got the Wonderworks logo in the corner. And there is Devon Stanfield. So the Magic Box, or whatever that was called, or the Box of Delights, that was a British thing, and then they just imported it for the USA and just rebranded it as Wonderworks right there. But you will not find that listed in the Wonderworks titles on IMDb. These production markings up here, some of them do rub right off. I mean, if I could just take my finger here. So if you don't want that there, I've already got one wiped right off. So that makes it much more presentable. You'll not get rid of the pen marks down here. Maybe a little bit there, but you don't necessarily want to erase all the history there. And then historic images, stickers back there. This one says December 11th, 1984 stamped on there. That'll peel off almost 100% where you won't even notice that was there. This person here, I won't need to go into it here, but there's a bunch of editing done to this photograph. There was some sort of picture or some kind of thing behind this guy. I don't know what it is, a window, no idea. But this guy just went to my church, and that's the reason why I grabbed that. I never really talked to this guy. I never knew him. I think he was quite old when I was a little kid, I think, when he was still alive. But it was just kind of interesting. A newspaper article. That's being donated to... This is being donated to a museum here. It's from the Oregonian, so it's the original. It's the original picture from the article. And when you see the pictures in the newspaper, these people look a lot more clear than they do because they highlight a few details or diminish some of the details, and that's what happened. That gray stuff in the background there. And then this one here is just a fun picture. This one here is it says. Hanging Judge. Carla Rhea Perlman, who is convinced that Cliff John Ratzenberger is one of the judges in the Miss Boston Barmaid contest, ensures she'll get his vote in Carla Loves Clavin. So there is Carla Loves Clavin, and that is pretty funny there. That'll go in my Cheers collection binder. Nice shot of Cliff with his yellow letter carrier uniform, U.S. mail and all that fun stuff, and there's Carla. There's stories about her on set being... anyway, and that was a 7x9, and this is funny, this is an 8x10. You don't usually see these in 8x10 size here, but there is Sam and George Wendt, or Ted Danson and George Wendt. I think that was neat right there. And I guess, I wonder if George Wendt was drunk at this particular scene and he's telling off Sam, because he always liked to confide in Sam for certain things in the back room where I think that's the back room where he's sitting on the pool table there. So that's pretty neat. Desperately seeking Norm, Sam, Ted Danson, seeks advice from the very married Norm, George Wendt, when he realizes his addiction to... Well, let's get out of that subject there. I don't want to read that there because I don't want to have any troubles with YouTube saying certain things here. But anyway, so let's make it's the other way around. So I guess Norm is telling Sam what to do in that particular scene there. But that's cool for my binder collection. Now, one more thing before I get to the final item. 2 postcards came in, and this is really cool. You guys are going to like this one here because this is from the subject at hand, what I was talking about earlier, non-sport vintage. Well, I found a damaged piece of sheet music at the Goodwill bins. It only cost me a few cents to buy this piece of sheet music. Trimmed it, glued it onto an antique postcard that I have absolutely no value. It was some sort of foreign postcard, and I glued that onto that, and I turned this Hank Williams blue tone photograph and made it look like an exhibit card. I am not even joking. That looks like an exhibit card. I worked really hard on that one there. I got a little bit of edging right there, but anyway. And there's only like a little scuffing down here and some stuff down here, but I worked really hard. I glued that twice. There was some sort of mark saying what that was down there, but I covered it up with stamps. Valley Center, MPO, Valley Center, California, main post office. Need to glue this stamp down a little bit here, but I put an ancient 3-cent stamp on there, and I threw some other ones on. Almost like that somebody had put a stamp on there back in the day. I just think that's really, really neat to have that one there. So I made this postcard here. I made it look like an exhibit postcard, this Hank Williams. Very, very, very cool. Really neat. And it cost me all of probably like 5 cents to do that. So cheap. And the last thing, oh yeah, we had actually one more postcard before that. I keep dragging you along here. We're already at 10 minutes here. Crazy. But this is from the Moreno Valley LPO, it looks like something post office, Moreno Valley, California. And this is just one of those Casimir Pulaski postcards that already had 10 cents on it. I decided I wasn't going to use that for my project, so I figured, you know what, I'll just go ahead and use that one. So that one's very cool, just some smudging on the back there. And last but not least, this one came from everybody's favorite actor from Night Court. And like I said, my address got put on there because I forgot to do that. My custom-made envelope there. And this is George, just kidding. It has George Wendt on this side here. Really, it really has George Wendt. But on the other side of it, it has Richard Mole from Night Court. He played the the bailiff, or whatever you want to call it. Now presiding Judge so-and-so, Harry Stone or whatever. And it says Henry C. U. in court, Richard Mole, Bull. And very cool. And he signed it in blue. So guess what that goes? That goes in my Cheers binder, because on the back here it says, that's a switch. Richard Mole left, star of NBC's TV popular Night Court series, gets a toast from George Wendt of NBC's hit Cheers, as he points out he points out that the two top-rated programs will make a one-night-only switch in time periods. On Thursday, July 31st, Night Court will be seen at 9 p.m. New York time. I guess that's what NYT, New York time. Followed by Cheers at 9:30 p.m. NYT. And it just says RPS 7/16/86. Very, very cool. NBC photograph. Really neat. Really, really neat. So this photograph cost me about $5 or $6. It was nothing to sneeze at. This, I think I got, well, actually, I might have got this on the 50, I'm not sure which Historic Images sale I got this one on, but I think it was one of them when they had them for $6. I was really, really happy to get that. So, very, very quick signer, Richard Mole. First time I've ever gotten him. Very, very cool. This goes in my Cheers binder. Amazing mail day, and thank you for watching.
That was legitness. Yeah, it was, huh?